You want to be hardcore, you want to be extreme. Well, if you're like the Sandman, then you're listening to the podcast Drunk Wrestling History, dudes. And please be drunk when you hear it. Peace, I'm out.
I kept Kleenex in business in the late 90s.
Mike Awesome might have fucked Tanaka's wife.
But just say no to this pay-per-view.
Wait, were you making a death joke?
Told you we should have gone to the donkey show.
Stop choking yourself. It's either death or defecation.
Woo!
What's up, Drunk Marks? Welcome to this week's episode of 205 Jive. I'm Adam, designated to be your host on this drunken wrestling adventure. And with us, as always, are the drunk wrestling historians themselves.
This is Eddie. Step off. I'm doing the hump.
And this is Scott, educating the masses one drink at a time.
All right. For this week's episode, we got a debate going on. It revolves around one question. Pretty much, it has to do with a second-generation wrestler. Came up in one of our recent recordings. And actually, to backtrack a little bit, I think the reason why this came up, originally the proposed episode was, is Christian a Hall of Famer? I think, and the way I think both of you answered that, it would just be 5 minutes of yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I thought
yes. So,
right,
yeah.
And when you came up with that, I thought that was your idea, and I thought it was actually a really cool concept for a show. But yeah, and I talked to Scott about it, and I was like, well, yeah, Christian is obviously a Hall of Famer, so I don't think there's really much of a conversation, and therefore not much of a point of doing this one. But I like the idea, so I said, what if we talk about someone else? And Scott came up with the idea of Carlito, which I thought was...
yeah, since we...
Go ahead. I was going to say, I thought Carlito was very questionable.
Very questionable, because we know the low bar is Coco. So, does Carlito go above that bar?
Okay, well, okay, let's just... If you want to just
let's
dive
find
into
out.
it...
Today...
Okay, yeah, let's just dive right into it, because this is a 205 Jive. And we're on a time limit. So I agree.
Dive.
The low bar is Coco. But I'm going to say Coco is so low of a bar that I don't think that having a better career than Coco makes you automatically a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think
You
they
know
were
what I
just
mean?
looking for a name that year, maybe.
A body
and-
to fill in that particular time, maybe.
And it was
Yes.
in Houston, so they wanted someone who had worked around Texas. So It made sense, but yeah, I think most people would say Coco Beware did not have a Hall of Fame career. So I'm not using that as like the lower limit. I'm using that as a few steps below what I would consider a lower limit. So I'll just say right up front, and if you guys disagree, maybe you can try to convince me otherwise. I don't think Carlito is a Hall of Famer.
And what are your reasons for saying that he's not?
Well, okay, so let's go over his credentials. He had about a 4-year run, 5-year run, something like that. I didn't actually write that. Okay, 6-year run, right, which is decent, but it's nothing special, like plenty of people had 6-year runs. So he did win several titles. He was U.S. champion. He was Intercontinental champion.
In his debut match.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I see no, U.S. in his debut match. Sorry about that.
U.S. in his debut match.
Well, I see in his debut on Raw.
Okay. So he beat Cena for the U.S. title, which, yeah, that's a big deal, but it was not Cena of 2012. It was Cena of 2005 or 4.
It was still very much Thugonomics transition into Chain Gang.
Well, it was Cena before Cena became...
At that time.
Right. It was Cena before Cena was a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Same thing with Shelton. He beat Shelton for the IC championship, and it was early on Shelton. And actually, to be honest with you, Shelton would be another good one to have a conversation about whether he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Great debate there.
He also had both tag team championships with with Primo.
With Primo.
Yep.
They held them at the same time, which actually that's a pretty big deal. Very few teams have done that. But
they were the first.
Right, they were the first ones to do that. But he was U.S. champ for 42 days. He was IC champ for 90 days. Not a big deal, right? Like 42 days as IC champ or U.S. champ is like a blip on the radar. Same with IC champ. They were tag team champions for 280 days, which is a long time. But it was still just tag team champions.
Well, you can't say just. I mean, and look, titles don't mean what they used to anymore, right? Titles switch hands way more frequently than they did like the late 80s, early 90s. Like, titles didn't really mean much in the 2000s. They switched hands so frequently. So for him to be a tag team champion as long as he was, I think that's a pretty big deal to be the first ever unified tag team champion. I'm going to go counterpoint to you. I'm going to say, yeah, he is a Hall of Famer. There's not a lot of Triple Crown winners in WWF. Or WWE, for that matter.
Okay, you're basing that on the tag team title reigns?
He was Raw and SmackDown tag team title champion. He was the unified tag team champion for quite a while.
Okay.
They beat Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania. He was U.S. champion. He was IC champion. He did everything but hold the heavyweight title, which Carlito, I don't think, was groomed ever to be a heavyweight champion. I never saw him as such. But to be a top of the mid-card kind of guy, and then to be at the top of the tag team ranks for a while, I think that's very commendable. And based on his wins, I'm going to say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Okay. I agree. Right. He was never groomed to be a world champion, and you don't become a world champion with that fucking haircut or walking around with an apple and an apple on your fucking trunks. Right. I mean, his gimmick was an apple.
Right, his hair and his apple. Yeah, that's not a heavyweight champion breed right there.
Going full apple for this debate. Gonna need it.
Oh my God, Adam!
Oh damn!
Adam's drinking a bottle of Martinelli's, like out of the bottle.
Yeah. Apple cider, very good.
Martinelli's apple cider.
Sharon.
Adam getting into the spirit.
Straight to the dome.
What the hell do you think? Hell, do you think this is? I was gonna eat fruit during this podcast. No,
he's gonna eat the bottle when he's done.
I'm gonna drink and I'm gonna do it in style.
Did you buy that for this eepisode?
Yes, I did.
Now that's commitment to your job.
It's a man with a plan.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
No All right. Maybe a few things. It's more of statistic wise. Does it lean in his favor for winning a championship match in your main in your primary show debut? And for this, I count Raw and SmackDown. I don't count NXT as part of it.
Right.
So, like, in the case of Paige, she was already in NXT, and then literally her first match on Raw, she won. But since NXT has turned into a brand of its own, yep, there you go. So, other champions that have, or other wrestlers that have won in their debut match. Gail Kim, Santino Marella, I think there were a few more. John Morrison and it was Eminem. Like
tag titles.
I would and Christian like heavyweight title.
Oh I forgot about that. That's a good one.
Morrison and Christian, I'd say they're the only Hall of Famers of that list, and that list is actually bigger. So right now, I would
you don't
say
think Paige is a Hall of Famer?
No, Paige is a Hall of Famer, but I say she doesn't count towards the list because she was already in NXT. I count NXT as another brand.
Got it.
But still, it's like if you're going to be winning a championship in your debut, that means you're supposed to be hitting the ground running. Right off the bat, you should be groomed for title after title after title. And I guess if that particular result comes up, then maybe not Hall of Fame worthy. Also, just something that I looked up. I looked him up in the general alumni sections. I tried to on the website and on the network app. I don't see him there.
Did he say something? Did he get removed? Did he say something racist about his daughter's boyfriend?
Jesus, I don't freaking know. But
because they'll remove your ass for that. You got the Hogan treatment.
I mean, if that's the case, then by all means. But I mean, there's nothing that I'm aware of about that. I would say like the way that he was released, maybe it was on what was it, conduct or not conduct.
No, he quit. He quit,
any
right?
Possible steroid. Was it he quit or allegations of steroids?
I thought he quit.
Yeah, it was a wellness violation.
It was wellness.
Yeah, It was a wellness violation. He had actually asked for his release a year in advance of that, and Vince actually talked him into staying.
I remember that.
And when they finally released him, it was a wellness violation as to why he got released.
Well, okay, I don't think that was. I'm just going to guess that wasn't steroids.
I'm just trying to.
I don't think so. I think it was painkillers.
Or
I mean, I remember. I think Mysterio's been suspended for that same thing, but I don't know if that was the reason that they got rid of him. Then maybe there was something more severe about it.
Maybe he'd been hanging out with Del Rio.
No. Oh Jesus!
Allegedly.
Just a guess.
Allegedly.
I mean, I feel like you hang out with Del Rio, you're going to fail a wellness check.
Well, I'm going to end my Carlito argument with IC champion, US champion, SmackDown tag champion, Raw tag champion, Unified tag team champion, 6-year run, and I got 3 names from the Hall of Fame for you. I already said one, Coco Beware. Let's throw out Big John Studd, and let's throw out the Bushwhackers. Names that are in the Hall of Fame with no title wins, shorter runs in the Federation. That's why I say Carlito's a Hall of Famer.
I don't think a title win matters as much as people think it does. So I would put those guys back in the Hall of Fame. Because, like, okay, Andre was never champion, right? He had it for a second, but Andre's a Hall of Famer. Roddy Piper, if he didn't,
well, of course,
Jake the Snake was never champion. So I don't think having a championship is a prerequisite for being in the Hall of Fame. But I also don't think being a champion makes you automatically in the Hall of Fame. Like Deuce and Domino were fucking champions, right?
Well, of course, but I mean, that's only one title win for them. Carlito had multiple singles and multiple tag team wins.
Right.
So he was a pretty decorated guy in his 6 years in the Federation.
Yeah, I'm
they
sort of
were
torn.
I mean, even though they were championship wins, but the argument against that is he able to defend them? Because if he's only having 40 or 60 day title reigns and he's still in the low single digits, does it really count as like a well earned and well defended championship?
Well, that
was par for the course in the 2000s.
Yeah,
almost every title was like that in the 2000s.
I mean, look, I'll give him props for having the tag team titles for 280 days. That's a big deal to have it for, I mean, that's what, 10 months, almost 10 months.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'll dock him a point for being a half-ass thrown together tag team. And they kind of got him just because there were no other real tag teams to give him to. They sort of got him by default. But okay, I'll give him that. They did have those. My big thing with Carlito is like, did he really do anything memorable? Like, did you remember? Okay, not counting the Flair match we just watched. Do you remember a Carlito match, like a single Carlito match?
The only one would be his debut.
Okay,
on SmackDown.
He never had a big WrestleMania match. He never had a big SummerSlam match that I can remember. I just don't remember. Like, if Carlito had never been there,
I think he's been in some chamber matches, but obviously never won. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like he had like very little impact on the company.
Okay, but the Bushwhackers and Coco Beware,
well, no,
they had major impact. You're saying?
Look, I told you, Coco is. I don't think Coco should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, but it doesn't change the fact that he's there. So WWE set the bar, not you. WWE's telling you Coco Beware's a Hall of Famer, and so are the Bushwhackers. Bushwhackers were there for what, 4 years?
Well, dude, the podcast is not. The episode is not if Vince thinks they should be in the Hall of Fame, he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's whether I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, I set the bar, motherfucker.
What shit? Okay, I'm going by what the WWE has mandated as a Hall of Famer. And I'm going off of what they say is a Hall of Famer, and I'm going to put my opinion based on that. So they've told me that the Bushwhackers, Big John Studd, and Coco Beware are Hall of Famers. So by those templates, Carlito to me, no question.
All right. What about you, Adam? You sound like you're a yes.
One more thing is that can't forget about Carlito's Cabana. How Hall of Famers have a talk show segment?
I forgot about
Edge.
Carlito Cabana.
Miz and Morrison, Jericho,
The KO show.
the KO show,
Piper's Pit.
Piper's Pit.
The Snake Pit.
Barbershop.
Exactly. So that's point in his
The
favor.
Flower Shop. Okay, you know
Is
what?
Adonis in the Hall of Fame?
No, Adonis is not in the Hall of Fame.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, I think
So
Adonis should be.
it is.
You know what, Adam?
For sure.
I think you just changed my mind when you mentioned the Cabana. That was
Yeah,
pretty good. I
like
mean, that
for
was
me,
that was a big part of
that-
every episode
I mean,
for a
even
while.
even though he wasn't like heavy, like bred for heavyweight titles, it was still something to show his range. Like he's still a second generation wrestler. He can wrestle. He did a very great job in that Flair IC match that we did a few episodes back.
Mm-hmm.
I still think like maybe there was question of like who was playing up or who was playing down, but still his fundamentals are there. Backstabber is a brutal move.
Good.
And
It is.
just his overall range of like being able to wrestle and having a personality outside of the ring, whether it was in a show or just meeting people. I'd say finite amount of time in WWE, but he is a Hall of Famer.
All right.
I like it. And let's not forget WrestleMania 21. He had the moment with Stone Cold.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? I think you
forget?
guys convinced me. I think I'm getting on board with that. I forgot about the Cabana completely. So the Cabana was really.
I love
good.
when this happens.
Yeah. Okay. You win. So really quick before we before we wrap this up, just a couple quick kind of random highlights or facts about his career. He was on the first season of Tough Enough as one of the trainers. I think Daniel Tarver was his rookie. He was the
Yes, he was.
He was the big time wrestling champion, which is right down the street from us in Union City, and that's where Bailey trained. He also I don't know if you know this, currently he is a tag team champion. Do you know where he's a tag team? What promotion he's a tag team champion of?
I'm guessing something with his dad.
Nope. No, but he had a bunch of titles over there in WCCW or what? Double no.
Oh yeah.
I saw that he
World-
was around.
World-
Definitely
whatever that's
not.
called. Not WCCW, whatever the hell that's called. The Puerto Rico one.
He's
No,
not an
he-
X. He's
he
not
is
an
tag
XPW, is he?
No. XPW's gone.
Oh.
He is tag team champion of Qatar Pro Wrestling.
Qatar?
Yeah. Yeah, he wrestles in Qatar.
Wow.
Do you know who his tag team partner is?
Oh wow. I'm gonna guess Primo.
Nope. The great Chris Masters.
Oh fuck.
No freaking way.
Yep.
Really? That's where Chris Masters ran off to, huh?
Qatar. Yeah. They ran off to the Arabian Peninsula together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna change my vote on that Hall of Fame thing.
You're going to dock him points for being with Chris Masters. Excellent.
Massive points docked for teaming up with Chris Masters again.
Okay.
You and fucking Chris Masters.
Shame.
Yeah.
God damn it. Hate that guy.
Okay, like, does that dock him from any potential pro wrestling Hall of Fame around the world, or just WWE Hall of Fame? Is he out?
Nah, that would be like a major Hall of Fame thing. Like for WWE's, I'm still on board as a yes.
Right, like he's not
yes for him.
he's not getting a Grammy, but he can get a Billboard award.
Oh, right, and he's not going to make it in Meltzer's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the
He should be able to live.
newsletter.
I think he'll live without that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that resolved the question. Want to hear from you. Are there any details that we missed that could sway us one way or the other? And do you think Carlito is a Hall of Famer? Again, we all think he is, but still want to hear from you. Also, leave us some reviews on all the podcasting platforms wherever you're listening to us. Please continue to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. Maybe you'll create some community and you won't be enemies anymore. That'd be freaking awesome. And then you could share some apples and some Martinellis together. But for this episode, it's nice and celebratory. So with Eddie and with Scott, I'm Adam. Just reminding you to the fuck are our taglines again? Watch wrestling responsibly. Drink
God.
like. What's up?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, go home, be safe, watch wrestling responsibly, drink like no one's watching. In the meantime, wear masks, wash your hands, 6 feet distancing, and yeah, I think that takes care of it. That's our episode. 1, 2, 3. I spit in the face.
Dive.
Cheers.
Nothing beats being cool. And I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Viejo desgraciado. Oye, por ahí viene Carlito. You better be cool. Señor Carlito. You do what you want. You take what you want. You better be cool. Cool like me. Carlito. Caribbean. Cool. Viejo desgraciado. Oye. Señor Carlito. You take what you want. You better be cool. Cool like me. Caribbean. Cool. Hola. Viejo desgraciado. Oye, por ahí viene Carlito.